The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not represent the position of the host, this show, or any organization either party is affiliated with. All content is shared purely for educational and inspirational purposes. Nothing discussed here constitutes professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to independently verify any information before acting on it. The host is not responsible for any outcomes resulting from guest statements. By listening, you agree that you are solely responsible for how you use the information shared. Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I am joined by another very special guest, Patrick Koch, who is joining us from Austria. Patrick is a cloud adoption engineer, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and the organizer of DevOpsDays Graz. His expertise spans Microsoft Azure, Terraform, GitHub infrastructure as a code, DevOps, and cloud automation, and many other things related to open source technologies. So in today's episode, we will talk about what a cloud adoption actually does in their day-to-day journey, his journey into open source and Google Summer Code, Azure, Terraform, and GitHub in modern cloud, and so many other things. But before we get started, I would like to thank Patrick for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Thanks a lot for having me. My name is Patrick Koch. As you mentioned, I'm from Austria. I'm working as a cloud adoption engineer, and despite from that, I try to do a lot of contributions to the tech community, and I do that in several ways. I have a blog post, but to be honest, I think I should invest much more time for it again, because currently I have quite a lot of effort with my colleagues to organize the DevOpsDays Graz, and in addition, I like to be on conferences for providing talks and workshops, and my focus is always related to the combination of GitHub, Terraform, and Azure.
Okay, so I think we can see clearly that there are so many things on which we can discuss about your expertise areas. But before we talk on that particular topics like cloud adoption and other things, I just wanted to know, especially for those listeners who don't know anything about cloud adoption engineer. So how would you describe like what a cloud adoption engineer actually does in their day-to-day journey?
So I can, of course, describe it just in context of my company. What I'm doing day by day is that I take care for our software applications, which we provide to our customers, that we would like to make them ready for the cloud. Especially in our case, we're focusing on getting it as a software as a service. And as you can imagine, it's a huge bandwidth, so to say, what you would need to cover, because where does the software as a service journey starts? It starts with a order from my customer. So you have to think of how should the order look like in a CRM system. how then can the customer authenticate using an IDP system? How do we provision the resources which the application needs? In our case, on Azure, how do we deploy the software application itself? Contexts also to be aware of the security. How do you deploy it? How do you operate it efficiently? How can you ensure specific SLAs? So it's a huge bandwidth, and yeah, my favorites, as I already mentioned, I like to do the automation with Terraform. I'm using GitHub Action workflows for doing the deployment, and yeah, Azure is, so to say, my first citizen there.
All right. Okay. So I think now everyone has idea like what is your professional role and how you are contributing and supporting the IT industry. But those who don't know, I just wanted to let you know that not only this role, like he has also contributed to a open source through a non-profit project during his studies, study time. So as I mentioned, like Patrick, you got into open source through the non-profit project, right, during your studies, and even you did a Google Summer of Code. So I just wanted to know, like at that stage of time, what pulled you toward the open source so early? Like because normally student utilize that time for enjoying their journey, right, college days. But you got influenced through the open source technology. So what was the reason behind that?
To be honest, so it's quite a long time ago, I think 12, 13 years. I have there to thank a very, very, how to say, motivated professor at the Technical University of Graz, and also very motivated colleagues, student colleagues of mine, who were always quite curious. And my professor at that time initiated this non-profit project, and it also became part of Google Summer of Code. And
Okay.
I simply, so to say, applied to become a student, so to work on the project as part of the Google Summer of Code project. And I was one of the lucky ones, yeah, to get it. And it was an amazing experience to work on it. It was an Android application, which goal was to help children to get a better understanding of programming. And yeah, I don't know, to be honest, when was the project initiated, but this professor was really, really, it was awesome that he motivated students, as me, to get into this, yeah, to don't just go to the lectures and to do the homework, but also to get the action there, and to simply try to become part of this non-profit project, which was in the end, you can think of a little company, a little a agile team, which we had to do to write stories, to to simply get them done, to do a planning, and of course to gain practice in writing Android applications.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds really very interesting, like how your professor has set the foundation for your journey because he was the one like who influenced you and who guided you when it is really needed, right? Because especially for students, like when they are in that confusing state of mind, what to do and when to do and how to do, then in this situation we need a professor like him who can guide you like what is the exact roadmap for you to contribute. And now we all know that after that work and also as a cloud adoption engineer, you are contributing a lot. Even those who don't know, like Patrick is also contributing through his blogs where he covers lots of important topic like Azure, Terraform, GitHub. So here I just want to ask you one question, Patrick, on blogs itself. Like first, my first question is like, where does the people can find your blog, and what really influenced you to start this blog journey? Because you are also contributing to the open source. parallelly you also started this blog kind of thing throughout your journey. So what was the reason behind that?
Mhm. So also quite a long time ago, in my company, we did some kind of proof of concept to get one of our software applications migrated to the cloud, so to Azure.
Mm-hmm.
And there, for the first time in my life, I used Terraform. And all the years since then, I was quite a big fan of DevOps practices. So I really like to automate things with pipelines to do an automated installation, automated tests, automated releases, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And deploying the resources which you need for your application, so to say, to install it or to simply run it. Somehow it concluded the full circle to me, and there I started to become one of a big fan of Terraform.
Okay. Okay. And regarding the blog, where can people find that blogs which you are currently publishing?
Yes, you can find it with typing just my name, so patrickkoch.dev.
Okay. All right. So those who are interested into these kind of information regarding the GitHub, Terraform, please go and visit Patrick's blogs. There you will find so many insightful things that you can explore in your journey. Okay. So now, Patrick, moving ahead, we'll talk a bit about infrastructure as a code, because we all know that infrastructure as a code has matured a lot by the time. But if you had to think particularly about this platform, what is still surprisingly hard to get right, even if we are considering the team full of experience and proper resources we have, still like there are few things that might be hard to get right. So what are those things?
Yes, definitely. So from my point of view, it becomes really tricky when you have a quite complex system for your customer. Think of, I don't know, several Kubernetes cluster, maybe quite a bunch of virtual machines. And of course, the goal should be that you would like to get, in the end, some kind of business value out of it. So you would need to run it efficiently, taking care of the costs, taking care about the security. From a Terraform point of view, it's just my opinion, hard to, or you have to quite think a lot about how do you structure this system. So how many layers, for instance, would you like to introduce? Do you have some kind of fundamental infrastructure which you deploy just once and then you don't touch it? What about the second layer and maybe some kind of application layer which you continuously would like to update? There you have to also think of how can you speed up, how can you uh, deliver new versions of your applications in a fast way,
Mm-hmm.
or updates, especially to Terraform. One of my favorite is some kind of the state file fragility. So the state file of Terraform, so people who are dealing a lot of with Terraform know the situation that you get quite a lot of situations where the state file is locked, or where you need to do where you get some drifts in the end, or conflicts. And this is, among other things, some quite advanced stuff in the end. If you're working on a productive system of your customer, for which you have to ensure that it has to be stable,
Hmm.
and that in the end it's quite I would say you should get a lot of experience before you do some stuff in real production, because in the end it's for your customer and you have a contract with him, and therefore you have to rely on the stability of the system.
Okay, all right. So I think now we all know that what basically a cloud adoption engineer does, right? In previous question we discussed that. But Patrick, if we want to discuss the same thing, cloud adoption, maybe the roadmap, specifically for those companies who are just starting it out, right? So, what does a
Mhm.
realistic, maybe boring but correct cloud adoption roadmap look like for a company just starting out versus the flashy transformation stories people usually hear about it, right? Because nowadays everyone got influenced by the adoption of cloud and AI, but what are the realities? How the things are differently in ground?
Yes, so I think it's, how can we call it? Just do your homework first. So is your software application able, for instance, to be deployed in an automated way? Can you do automated releases? Do you have some kind of test automation? What about security? Also think of some legal aspects. Also think of, is the design ready for of your application to be migrated to the cloud? Because in the end, of course, if you deploy resources in the cloud, you will get costs allocated, and you have to do that in an efficient way. And if your software application is not ready for that, you won't gain some benefits out of it. Therefore, what you can do before is simply ensure that you can do that you automate already quite a lot of things. Um, in the end, it will be then easier. And of course, think of, is your software application from a technical point of view ready from an architectural point for the cloud? And do you also have, that's the other aspect, do you also cover the business aspect? So do you have a real business case for it? Does it really make sense
Very important. Yeah.
to host it, to get it into the cloud? Do your customers get a real benefit out of it?
Okay. Yeah, I think this is something which is common in every field. Like if you don't know the requirement, like what exactly you are trying to deploy and how you are going to trying to deploy, then things would be a bit confusing, not only for you but for your team as well. So if we are on the same page, team wise, we know like what is the exact requirement or the business requirement that we are going to solve. If we have clarity on that, then I think anything can work with a proper roadmap as you suggested here.
Yes.
Okay. So now, moving ahead, Patrick will talk bit about your another contribution to the IT industry, and which is one of the most important, I would say, because you also organize a DevOps Days Graz. So, what made you want to run a event rather than just attend or speak at one? Because you frequently like presented at many conferences and sessions. Then why it is necessary to start and organize your own community event?
Thanks for the question. So it's not just about me. So it's a team in which I'm a member. So we are in total 4 persons. And for quite a long time, we run our meetups, which is also about to provide some support for the tech community within our region, within our city. And I really like to visit conferences, to listen to talks, to join workshops. So I also provide it on my own, so I know both sides, so to say. But unfortunately, there was no, so from the global DevOps Days organization, there was no conference in Austria so far. And we simply thought that's a pity, and we would like to get DevOps Days to Austria, especially to Graz. And yeah, so we simply started it. We founded an organization for that, a non-profit organization, and we created a website. We tried to get sponsors. We started a call for proposals. We made advertisement for it. We did quite a lot of social media ads. So it was our almost like running your own company. And the final, or to be honest, one of the final triggers for that was a good colleague of mine, also an MVP colleague, who simply asked me, I think it was 3 years ago approximately, why don't you have a DevOpsDays Graz? You should do it. And so I simply forwarded the question to my colleagues, to my friends, and they simply told, or we agreed, yeah, let's simply try it. And so we're now running it for the second time this September. And yeah, preparations are ongoing, still quite a lot of effort. So because we need to be a member of a ticket office, we do the advertisement, we do all the legal aspects. We try to get sponsoring. We check the proposals which we got from different speakers around the world. So it's it's a fantastic experience in the end. And we simply want to we want to support our community within our city, within our region. And we also wanted to have some kind of DevOps related conference in our town.
Okay. Yeah, I think the people like you who are constantly creating these kind of platform where anyone can contribute and collaborate specifically for learning the technology. And I think especially it is very important for the students, those who are watching from their college days. They should join these kind of communities because it will give you the platform where you can interact with the like-minded people, and you can also learn like how to work with a particular technology. It doesn't matter like which technology you are interested in. According to that, you will find so many other conferences or these kind of events. So go and join those events because it will really help you a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, Patrick, now I'll just want to take two questions, and this is you can assume like if you are presenting a session in one of your events or maybe through a blog, if you had to answer this thing. Let's say first question is regarding the cloud adoption only. So what do you think, like what's the common cloud adoption mistake you keep seeing organization make even now, even after adoption of AI? What are those common mistakes?
Yeah, that's really good question, and there are quite a lot, but I think the one which has the most impact, it's about lift and shift migrations. So I mean that you would like to push an application to the cloud without having a proper design for it, without optimizing it. So I think that's one of the most critical, or the ones which have the most impact from my point of view, because you want to gain benefits if you have it migrated in the cloud, and you want to sell it, of course. And this should be done in an efficient way. You would like to scale it. But if your software application is not ready from an architectural point of view, if you don't gain any benefits in the end out of it, then it's more, from my point of view, not ideal.
Okay, all right. Fine. Next thing is something that is against your philosophy. I just wanted to know because while doing some research about your profile, I found one very interesting thing that you believe that automate everything is mainly your philosophy, right? So I just wanted to ask you one question which is completely against. Is there anything you think that this thing should not be automated, or where automation will actually hurt the thing when we try to implement it? So what do you think, like what is one that part?
Yes, definitely. So I can think of a really concrete example. So when we create GitHub Action workflows, for instance, for deploying resources in an automated way using Terraform, basically you could really automate it by simply clicking on the button and the resources would appear. But if you think of a real productive system for your customer, I would at least there include some kind of manual approval. So it's really Terraform specific now. So you before you really apply it, you get the Terraform plan, so which you see the execution plan. So you will see all the stuff which will happen now in the end in production. So which resources will change, which resources will be added or removed. And think now really of a real productive system for your customer, for which you have to ensure stability and from which you have to ensure some SLAs. There I really recommend to do a manual approval to review the plan
Very
first,
important.
because you will maybe recognize a drift, you will maybe recognize some stuff which should maybe not happen, but you have thought of something else. So here, at least, I think it really makes sense to do it. Of course, you can also automate that, but I think for my experience so far, I still would do a manual approval step here in between.
I think this is one of the very important thing you just shared, because in if someone is not there at the review point, then things would highly impacted, because at the end, like, human is needed for these kind of review purpose and to figure out like if something is missing or not. Although machine can do, like, if we are providing, especially in the AI days, we can provide the instruction, it can also help us to review the thing, but at the end, like, human touch is needed, right? Because this is something that only can be identified by the POV of humans. So I think this is one of the great thing you just shared, and I think with this question, everyone also got the answer, like whether AI will replace human or not. Because if we
Yes.
need these kind of expert who really put the efforts to figure out what is going good or not, and if something is needed, they will take the precautions also and corrective measures also. So that's a great answer. Okay, so now, Patrick, we talked about so many technical things, and I'm sure like there are so many other things that we can discuss here from your expertise, but we are short on time. So I just want to take a few more questions, and this is not related to technical things, but your personal journey. So although we got to know about a few people in your life, like the mentor who guide you in your initial days and some of your colleagues and friends, but we just wanted to know more people, like, because we feel that behind every successful person there is a core support system. So for you, who were the key people around you who had a defining impact on your journey so far?
Yes, definitely. So it's about my wife, who is supporting me all the time. So when I have to jump to a conference, or also to my mother and my father, who simply always motivating me to do it, and who simply have a, a real amazing understanding of when I can't make it to some other appointments, maybe. And now currently it's quite a lot of effort for organizing DevOps Days Graz with my friends, and also my wife is there contributing, is volunteering to help out for both days. So I'm really thankful to my wife, to my father, mother, and of course also to my friends, to my colleagues who are part of our organization, and who share the very same mindset, and who are doing that on a voluntary basis. So we do that within our spare time. And yeah, you really have to have this mindset to simply do it, yeah, and
Okay.
to have a passion for it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, Patrick, before we conclude the discussion, I just wanted to know a bit about the place you belong from. So, as a proud citizen of Austria, I know like there are so many good contribution of Austria to the global world. But if you had to select few things that is really close to your heart about your country, then what would you like to share with everyone?
Yeah. So for those who don't know Austria, or who don't know it in that much detail, so I think what we can share as Austrians with the world, so to say, is our, I think, our musical heritage, our cultural heritage, and my favorite are quite a lot of amazing food. So if you like Wiener Schnitzel or Backhandel salads, so crispy fried chicken salads, you really would encourage you to try it. It's really amazing. For those who don't know Graz, it's the second largest city in Austria, in the southeast. Close to Graz, there is a little town which is called Thal, and that's the city where Arnold Schwarzenegger was born. Probably you know it as the Terminator, among other things. So it's quite famous
Yes.
citizen. And yeah, what else? I think we have a quite beautiful landscape. We have the Alps. We have quite a lot of lakes. We do quite a good wine and beer. So if you visit Austria, I think you have quite a lot of highlights from a culinary point of view, from a cultural point of view. And if you like to do hiking or to go swimming, I think it's an ideal destination.
Okay. All right. So I think now everyone has so much things in their to-do list if they want to enjoy maybe on the next vacation in Austria. They have lots of things, whether it's adventurous point, looking at the beautiful landscape of Austria. There are plenty of things that you can explore there. So yeah, thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing your expertise on cloud adoption engineering as a cloud adoption engineer, and also to sharing a think about your journey that really inspire a lot of other people. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Thanks a lot for having me. All the best from
Thank
Graz.
you.